Hey, good evening and welcome to the April 2nd, 2024 meeting of the Planning Board. Start with roll call of members, please, starting with Mr. Knapp.
Capiello, present.
Jesse here, present.
All present here. Next item is approval of the minutes from March 19th, 2024. Questions, comments?
The only thing was, I don't, saw the note on the recommendation 39 on the
Okay.
and then
It came up. Not a good.
yeah.
I would love for that to be fact, but I'm gonna guess it has some tip money.
Well, but the tip might not buy it.
That's true, but it's
Based on tip money.
But there
Oh,
is
tip
no
is for
tip
the
money
improvements to
currently.
In this case, it is for the.
We have no tip money.
that's what a lot of people asked.
Yeah,
Right.
like
Because
funding.
this realtor was real.
So we're hoping we get money in.
There's
If we
nothing,
don't,
there's
we
nothing
can't
in the
make
pipeline
payment.
for tip.
Exactly.
There's nothing. It's zero.
Well, all the housing around.
If
Doesn't have to
it's,
all
if
be
it's built,
commercial.
It's gotta be new, it's gotta be new.
Right.
That's a
I
lot of
think
ifs.
some of this appears. If that goes back. Don't quote me on that, but some of this. Because how the
Signs
state
around that
has some
said tip.
terminology.
Big if.
yes.
Well, you guys, these are all things you could have brought up before the vote.
That's why I voted no.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
They're not
But-
saying any corrections, you just were
I mean,
commenting.
just
I
I just want to make
wrong?
sure.
I
I
was
did the same.
asked about comment
Oh,
corrections, but
okay, cool.
commentary
Okay.
on it was I read and reviewed it. And the question was, I don't know if it's necessarily approved based on if these should have been approved.
And so maybe we can have Connor write up a.
Yeah, that'd be good. I'll make a motion, we bounce it. Make a motion, we accept the meeting minutes as written.
I second it.
Roll call.
Capiello, aye.
Jesse, right?
All right. Driscoll, aye.
Ron,
Ron.
and you can do it to Andy.
Okay, next item 4,
At least you guys know I read the minutes.
staff updates.
Okay, just a couple of quick updates. The spring 2024 Planning and Zoning Conference, I think I may have mentioned this before, but just kind of keeping on the agenda. And if you can't attend on May 11th, it's virtual. They do record it and it'll be on the OPD's website to refer back to later. It's usually like any updates throughout the year. And then if there's new board members, they do like a little bit of a training on there too. So some of it's a little bit of a repeat.
Okay.
The next item, just to bring
Before
you.
you leave that, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Do you have any inkling of when they're going to go back to in person?
So they do a lot of more in person. I don't know about this one, but last year they held trainings for planning board as well as zoning board members in person. And the zoning board one was completely full and they had a huge wait list. So I know they're transitioning back to some things being that, but I think that's more of like, because that was an NHMA sponsored one versus OPD one. So I think OPD might just continue with some onlines because they also have webinars too that they do weekly or monthly through their website.
I'm assuming that probably also helps with enrollment
Mm-hmm.
to drive their enrollment number up if it's remote.
Mm-hmm.
The other way, for me, it would give me lunch, I'm not going.
Yeah, they do have good lunch.
To give you lunch.
Yeah, lunches is good.
Panera.
You go.
That's why he
If you
wants to
go.
Oh, that's why you want to go. Well, when it comes up next time, I'll let you know. It's very good. They had Panera
You can
last
sit
time.
at home in your
Breakfast
undies
and
watch.
lunch.
And have lunch delivered.
Right. Yeah, you can scare the Uber Eats guy.
The only other next thing I have is a master plan housing chapter update. We were supposed to have our meeting last week, but it got delayed a little bit because SRPC had to do some more adjustments to the final draft. We're tentatively meeting tomorrow, but I think we might push it off to the next Wednesday just due to weather because we're not sure about what's happening. And I know a couple people that couldn't make it tomorrow would be able to make it the next week. So those of you that are on there, I know the two of you, but we will, I'll send that formal email out. And on May 7th, they'll be coming to the planning board presentation from SRPC. Our lead on that, her name is Lisa, will come and present the board what they had worked on and the updates to the chapter and open it for public comment. The public comment period's open for 30 days. And then on June 4th is the anticipated adoption date for the new chapter. And that'll be incorporated into our master plan. As of right now, I got them all together in one cohesive document. If you would like a copy, I can make you a printed copy, but I was not going to print them out until after this was adopted, so you don't have to switch out the pages 30 days later. But if anybody wants a hard copy before then, just let me know. And if there's anything else, that's all I have.
Thank you very much. I neglected to mention the staff that are here: Vanessa Price, Town Planner; Barbara Irvine, Planning and Land Use Administrative Assistant; our president. Action items. Oh, vote for chair and vice chair for 2024, 2025. Are the nominations?
Well, I would nominate John Driscoll
I'll second that.
and Ron Allen.
I'll second that.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Closing nominations? Roll call?
Sure you don't want to stand up for it?
Aye. I'm good.
So
Okay.
we're voting on both of them.
Yeah. We can vote like one by one, but yeah, or like.
What do you prefer?
Do we need to?
Each person separately? Okay. Vote for me, please.
Aye.
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 Abstain.
So much.
Now for Ron.
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay.
Thank you.
Nice.
Off. Item B, vote to adopt the 2024 subdivision regulations.
I know we worked a lot on it last time. There was just a couple of things I wanted to mention that we went over last time that the board were fine with, but just to let you know a couple notes. The TRG, which will be the technical review committee or group, excuse me, that will be happening with all the department heads in a more formal setting. The town attorney has advised not to have a planning board member on that due to future recusal of the cases. It's a conflict of interest. And so I'll be taking that out of the section in the TRG group section. And then one reference that
Page 47, is that the one?
was that page 47 about the back lots in the update that our town engineer Josh did. He actually omitted under 11.2.3 parentheses 1 to also put that it was lots created after March 12th, 2024 for the 2 backlot maximum per subdivision. However, backlots are prohibited in subdivisions of more than 10 lots created after March 12, 2024, because that was when the vote happened. Those are the only, and that's within the notification
So
too.
we'll do
So,
a public hearing. Open
yeah,
it to
so
public.
now we're at public hearing, if you wouldn't mind opening public comment, Mr.
Opening
Chairman.
public comment on this item, subdivision updates. Anybody?
Is there
Comments?
anybody online that would like to speak for or against or have any questions about the update to the subdivision regulations?
Seeing none?
Mr. Chairman, I don't see anybody online.
So is this whole thing part of the subdivision, or this will be a separate document? This is the technical review.
So that is going to be a separate document.
Okay.
That's our procedure for it. And subdivision regulations that does reference the
Right.
TRG, and it's a, it is section. Moment, see if I can find it.
This on 12, page 12 maybe?
Page 12.
Is the intent of the technical review?
Yeah,
group
page 12.
To streamline applications coming into the planning board?
Yes.
So right now, we have a very informal review from the department heads. We call it a plan review group. And the last year or so, trying to organize it to be more easier for site. When we reviewed it, all applications will go through this process. The major site plan and major subdivision will have the town engineer present to address comments kind of ahead of time in relation to regulations and that sort of thing. And that cost will be borne upon the applicant. And those fee structures in the rules of procedure.
And
So it's kind of something we already practice, but I think the only difference is having the town engineer and having it more of a, instead of me chasing down everybody trying to get their comments all the time. I'm hoping that this will be a less burden on the applicants as
And there
well
might be
as
some
the folks.
interaction if they're all together. too.
Mhm.
Like
And the
fire
applicants will
department.
be invited as well to the department head meeting, or the technical review group meetings.
I was just trying to make sure
Maybe get you more useful comments from the department heads, and sometimes you get one-liners and.
So we'll have so it's gonna be Thursdays. I had to change the dates due to the RSA to make sure that all the timing worked, because at first I was doing the first Thursday when that was too long of a time frame. So it'll fall within when the plans are due, the 21 days to our office within that time frame in the planning board, that meeting. And at that meeting, it's the same routine, I guess, as that I would do, is just all the department heads come together, but the applicant's engineer can be there, and if it's a larger project, the town engineer will be there to review the project and give comments, and then all those comments come to the planning board like it does now for like a staff report. But it's hoping to streamline the more larger projects.
Yeah, make a motion to adopt the 2024 subdivision regulations.
Second.
Roll call.
Nap aye.
Happy LOI.
Jesse, right?
Alan, aye.
Driscoll, aye. Okay. Vote
Go
to,
ahead, Ron.
and it's next one is adopt the updated subdivision checklist.
There wasn't really any changes from our old one, and we also worked on this in a work session. Just wanted to update it and give a little bit more direction to the applicants that are filling it out.
Okay,
This is more better.
More better.
open it to public comment. Anybody online want to comment on the checklist?
If anybody online wants to comment for the subdivision checklist update, please raise your hand. Mr. Chairman, I don't see anybody online that would like to contribute to
Okay,
this.
I'm closing public comment. Roll call vote to adopt the updated subdivision checklist.
Nap
I'll
aye.
make,
Oh,
I'll make a motion to accept.
Oh, he's making
I'll second.
roll call.
Nap aye.
Happy LOI.
Jesse, right?
Alan, aye.
Thank you very much. Now,
You gonna vote?
oh, yes, I'll vote for that. Yes.
Thank you.
Jumping right ahead here. Now, this one we're holding out, right?
Yeah, so item number D, since I had to make some adjustments.
We'll go to April 16th on that.
Yeah, you guys don't really have to vote to adopt it
Oh,
because it's more of a procedural thing. But I can have it back I'll have a final draft for the board to view. If you want to vote on it, you're more than welcome to bless it.
One other
Yes.
question I had on it is,
Mhm.
does this create, if the applicant's there and you folks review it and then don't comment on it, is there anything that's binding from the standpoint that they're like, well, it didn't come up in the technical review group, so like we may raise it as something as a board issue down the road, but they're like, well, it never came out in the technical review group, so now I have to go back and rejig my whole plan or something. to that effect.
Not necessarily, because it's kind of like what we do now. If there's no comments now raised about it during the department head review comment, or if we don't get resubmittals that need to be reviewed, I would say no.
I just wasn't
I
sure
mean, the
'cause
town
it's-
engineer situation could be different.
Right.
Because with a more formal or they're all formal applications, I'm sorry. The larger applications, the major ones, there may be other things the board may ask. So
Right.
this is not, at that time, we're not asking for all those extra studies or extra information. That's just to help streamline more from a plan and technical side, more than additional studies that the board may want to see or additional comments or that they want reviewed by the town engineer or anything like that.
Okay, thank you.
I had a question about, I wasn't sure if this was clear. So the meetings are not considered public meetings for public notice purposes.
Mhm.
But, I mean, we had this question from the public at the last meeting.
Right.
But is it open to the public? We
I
don't need to have
anticipate
things
so. So that's why I'm waiting for the town attorney just to confirm. I would anticipate so. Like it's kind of like I would say like our work sessions, for example, where public is more welcome to attend, or even our like master plan. There's not going to be public comment because that public comment has to be heard at a public hearing, which is it's not noticed as a public hearing, so they can come and get information. I was getting clarification from her, but that's what I think would be better too. Because all those meetings would then be on our calendar too, to show when those are.
Okay, action item number 5E, vote, adopt the updated planning board rules of procedure. I'll open that to public comment.
Is there anybody online that would like to speak on this agenda item, the updated planning board rules of procedure and fee structure? Mr. Chairman, I don't see anybody online that would like to make comment.
Okay, I will close public comment. And any discussion on this?
The only item I noted was under Article 4 meeting on page 4 of 12. It just says to the land use office no later than 15 days. Yeah. It was page 4 of 12, right at the top. To the land use office, no later than.
With that change, I make a motion to accept the planning board rules of procedure.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Aye.
Capella, aye.
Jesse, all right?
All right, let's go on. And the bond, F, you are holding that back too?
Yeah, so at our next meeting, as part of procedure, the planning board should accept a bond for any bonds that we have open. And the next one was the Winkley Pond Road. It went already through the select board and they authorized the applicant to do work in the right of way. The bond was being reviewed or had finished being reviewed by the engineer yesterday. I was anticipating it a little bit before, and it's and legal just needs to take a quick look at it. So
Is it 10 or 20%?
when it comes back, you'll get all the back documentation, but for this one, it'll be 20% due to some of the costs. I'll have a little bit more detail, like why the engineer suggested a 20% contingency. Because some of the costs showed like striping, and you're only going to be striping a tiny bit of the street. And does that cost really, correct or what have you?
Mhm.
So he suggested a 20%.
We're going to hold that up.
So yeah, we're going to hold off on that
Okay.
one and not have any action on that. And I'll have more documentation for the next meeting.
Thank you. Item G1, request for extension. It's map 251-63 RC-21 SR 2A Tactical LLC. Requesting a 1-year extension from 9/19/2024 to 9/19/2025. Any questions? Would you like to, just asking for an extension? Sure.
It'll be very brief.
If you wouldn't mind just going to
Yeah, the mic,
or
just-
if you're more comfortable sitting, you can, but just make sure the microphone goes with you with the green light on.
Wherever you go, the mic goes.
Yep, because otherwise we can't hear you. Make sure the green light's on, please. A button on there.
Oh,
Is it working?
it is.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
So,
great, thanks.
Robert Russell, 99 Toll Line Road, Barrington, Hampshire. I am simply here to ask for a 1-year extension.
Okay.
No drama. So
Any discussion, or a motion to grant the 1-year extension?
I want to build this building. I just can't do it now.
Oh, public comment. I'm opening public comment. You made your comments?
I haven't seen anybody online.
Okay.
Could you just review, so that he had 2 years and now he has a 1-year?
Yeah, it's part of
So the board can grant him an additional year.
yeah, it was part of the notice of
The
decision.
applicant has submitted a request for extension, the letter asking why he would like an extension. We typically grant extensions for circumstances, so.
I make a motion that we grant an extension for application 251-63-RC-21-SR.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Gabrielle, aye.
Tessie, aye.
Alan, aye?
Driscoll, aye.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Case continued from March 5th, 2024. This is Young Road, 240-8-NR23-sub, parentheses 23. Young Road LLC, asking for a continuance to May 7th, 2024. Public. Any comments? No, okay, I'll make a motion
Do you
to,
have a public comment?
you said no public comment.
Oh.
Make public comment if you want.
Oh,
Technically, I would do it just because.
all right, let's make public
procedures.
comment. Any comment out there, anybody online?
Nobody's online.
I will close public comment.
Make a motion to accept the continuance. The 240-8-NR-23.
Second.
Okay, Ron seconded that. Roll call, please.
Aye.
Gabrielle, aye.
Tessie, aye.
Driscoll, aye. Okay, thank you very much. Item number I, discussion with board for a preliminary conceptual site plan for multifamily dwelling on 345 Dry Hill Road.
Did somebody not get one of these? Because I had 2.
I had 2 also.
We were feeling very generous.
I
Need
I
an
was
extra.
looking, I'm like, am I missing something? Like going through it.
Probably got the extras that were from people not
Oh, okay,
coming or
that's
something.
fine. Okay, would you like to come forward?
I don't know if you left it on.
Green light looks on. Yep, that's good. So Nathan Gray, 345 Dry Hill Road. Seemed to be the last informal review before it becomes more formal. So it seems like it's I feel special. So I just coming here to get a better perspective on what it would look like to turn my single family dwelling that currently has an ADU into a multifamily. So making that the 3 units with the house. So the ADU would become its own unit. The current house would become its own unit. And then we'd create another unit all within the existing structure. It's about 6,600 square feet. So we have enough room to be able to split it up with the existing structure. So there'll be no additions, no foundations, just using everything within the same structure. I am on a class 6 road. So that's one thing that I just want to get a better perspective of with the class 6 road committee and changes and things like that. I'm interested in what other things just may come up that might kind of interfere with the budget that I'm not thinking about being a builder by trade and doing many other projects in other cities. Just something that I might not be seeing or understanding. Just trying to get your perspective and happy to answer some questions and hopefully learn a little bit more about this process.
Well, I think there was some comment on Dry Hill Road. I guess this came from the fire department. He was concerned that this road currently serves one resident and the road crosses a significant amount of wetlands and there's only one lane. No further development should be allowed unless the road is widened and brought up to, he said class 5 specifications, but second, later I heard at least 20-foot road.
Well, the other thing too is under site plan regulations, this is a multifamily, so that would fall under that. All sites must have adequate position for safe and suitable access to a class 5 road or better. So you don't have that. So that's a major issue.
Yep. That's what I anticipated was to improve, or would have to improve the road. We've kind of gone through some different perspectives, different ideas for the property, and that's something that's come up before, so that's.
Well,
in
class
my
5 and class 6 is
scope.
town maintained and not town maintained. So even if you improve the road to, to the fire chief's satisfaction, the town doesn't maintain it, you're class 6. And you gotta be on a class 5 in order to have a family.
Okay.
So this is a problem.
Or you'd have to get relief from the ZBA.
Most of site plan regulations, so on zoning. So, but yeah, it's 4.8.1. It's got access. That's where the regulation lies. So that's just to tell you where it is.
It's my understanding that the town's trying to push towards maybe getting rid of class 6 roads and improving them and changing them to class 5 roads. Maybe this would help bring this class 6 road. No, that's not to understand. Okay.
I don't think that
Cost would just be
will
unbelievable.
never happen.
Not exactly, not for the town to have to do the road, but if I was to change it, then I would be upgrading the road anyway. So it would be a way to hopefully it would be funded by us, by the property to get it out of that class 6 stage and put it into a class 5. So just something.
What's your I'm trying to think, what's the distance? It looks like it's a pretty far run down.
Yeah,
Dry
it's
Hill
about
Road.
3/4 of a mile from Pond Hill to our house. But that includes our driveway too, so about a half a mile.
So still probably a pretty significant cost to upgrade that to.
Nothing I haven't done before.
And I actually don't have the report in my packet from the road agent, but there's some wetlands? Do you have to put in a new culvert or a bridge or anything?
I don't own the property, so I don't know what has been flagged wetlands before. I'm not aware of it. There is culverts there. I'm the one that maintains the road, so I know all the problems with it. I know that one of the culverts need to be cleaned out. We're the only one that has the electric that runs up, so we have the telephone poles. But with the work that I've done with Ray Bison in the past, the surveyor, we've kind of just sketched out like how the road would go, and we can make it between we might have to blast some rock or something like that, but we can make it around the poles. It only has to be expanded, say, I don't know exactly what it is, but say 10 feet on max. So I can't see that it would like go into wetlands or anything like that.
Well, the town minimum standard is 16, 2 and 2.
16
16
feet
feet
wide,
wide.
2 feet on the shoulders.
Yep.
Yeah.
2 for shoulders.
Shoulders both sides.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about
Shoulders
16
have to
now.
hold a fire truck too.
Yeah, I'm aware of all that part. It's part of the project. It would be one of the costs that we'd have to do. And then, how does that come about? What does it get changed to if we do, say we bring it all the way to pave, which I don't want to pave it. I think it adds to I like the dirt road aspect of it, personally, but, if we were to bring it up to those standards, does it get changed over, or does it just stay the same and just meets the standards? That wouldn't really matter per se.
It would have to be paved to meet the standard
For
because that's one of
5?
the requirement.
Okay.
For at least the half mile, it wouldn't have to be driveway on, but.
Yeah, the driveway's paved anyway.
The irony of that is.
Yeah, so it would have to be paved. That's part of it.
That's part
Well,
of that
it's
town
got to be
road
class
standards.
5. Class 5 no specification. Class 5 is town maintained. So you'd have to get the town to accept it and agree to maintain it. And so even if you upgrade it to town specifications, the town's got to accept it.
Okay.
For it to be class 5. So,
Who makes that decision?
Selectmen.
Selectmen. Okay. All right. Well,
So even if you get it to, great standards, it's still going to be accepted.
okay. Good.
The infrastructure.
Yep.
But our town engineer reviews when you start to upgrade the road as well, to make sure that it's built to town standards as well. And then
Okay.
there's like a 2-year period. And it doesn't guarantee that the select board will overtake the road too. But,
What's the 2-year period? You have 2 years to complete the work, or?
No, it's gotta be.
it's got to go
in
through 2
state
seasons.
For 2 years.
I have to apply for it, wait 2 years?
No, like when your plans get approved, if and when the plans get approved for the project, and like I said, there's a process that goes through it when you're starting to build the road to the town standards, the town engineer and road agent and that sort of thing go out to it. Once I think it's minus the wear coat, once you got, I guess, kind of get it finished, it has to go through 2 seasons to make sure that it doesn't like wash out or
Degrade.
degrade,
Yeah, it doesn't
or there's
degrade
any
from
other
the weather.
issues that you may not have foreseen before the town considers to take it over.
So that
But I
would
can't say it
mean-
from the select board point of view of
Yeah.
how they take it over.
So what
but-
you're saying is that I'd have to build the road, tar it, make it to the standard, then wait 2 years before I become a multifamily?
Before it would be a.
Before you
No,
would
before
have-
the road would be,
Well-
could be taken over.
Yeah, but
Which-
basically, yeah.
Yes.
To become a class 5, you got to wait the 2 years.
Yeah.
And you got to be class 5 in order to build multifamily.
The other way to do it is you could petition it through town warrant and expedite that process that way.
And
I've
there's
seen
another,
it done that way. as
there's
well.
another way to go to town vote too, to make it a private road, correct?
I don't think it needs a town vote to be a private road.
I'd go against the select board, ask them for permission for a private road, they deny it, and then I can go to a special vote.
Well, the only other relief is go to Superior Court to get the regulation signed out, I would believe.
I would assume the ZBA could grant
If they
that
would
way.
handle the site plan, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they would, but I would assume that they would take up that case.
It would be only if it's in the zoning ordinance that they could hear it.
It's site development, site plan.
Quicker probably would be the Housing Appeals Board, pay $250 and they take a case because it concerns housing.
Yeah.
It's faster than Superior.
We're considering doing workforce
We'd have to,
workforce
yeah,
housing
you'd have
too.
to deny it.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
need a formal application, go to the design review, a formal application and everything. If they deny the application because you're not on a class 5 road, you can say, well, that's unfair and appeal.
Yeah.
that. Say, I'm willing to build it to those standards. Like any subdivision would build it to those standards, even if they don't intend to make it public, it has class 5 standards.
Yeah.
Okay. The uniqueness is in the site plan regulations, apparently. And any regulations on how to build it are in the subdivision regulations, what they require, because they did change it last year to be more robust.
Yeah, wherever that.
Okay.
Missed that one a little
That's
bit.
what the town engineer would be, there to survey that, done to this.
Okay. All right. So there's that, and then while I'm here, I might as well continue on the process of just going into a multifamily. What other things are going to come up? Is there, obviously I have to, so I guess just want to be clear, there's no way of doing a townhouse. Townhouses can't have a ADU, so there's no other way of doing 3 units there before I go on. I know I've asked this a million times, but
Not yet.
I'm going to make sure that I,
Not yet.
no other route. Okay.
If the state changes
Legislation.
anything, then that's the only, I think, that would maybe change it. There's something right now going through, but it hasn't been.
It's passed
voted
the
by the
House to allow
state.
2 ADUs, one attached
Yeah, Dover's going through that too. I'm
and
working on
one
getting on that.
separate of 850 and 1,000 feet.
Yeah.
Square feet.
Oh, okay. So you're trying to do that.
Yeah. So if it passes the legislature,
Oh, it's a
It's
New
at the
Hampshire
state
thing.
level.
Okay.
yeah,
So if the state
then our regulations would have to reflect whatever they change, so that might be
Okay,
an alternative for you.
okay, appreciate that.
That they would have to finish it up. Usually they finish these things up by June-ish, July,
All right.
if there are any laggards, so. I want to see what they're gonna do.
Yeah, that's,
You would just apply to the building inspector to build a house. Do that.
yeah, because then that, exactly, then I won't have to change to a
Fire
multifamily.
department still weigh in saying,
Right.
potentially you could have 3 different families in there. You sign a waiver as the owner,
Mhm.
holding the town harmless, but what about the other people? They didn't sign any waiver.
Yeah.
That could be, they could sue you for
Mhm.
not providing adequate fire protection. It's like that.
There's some
Who
things
knows?
there. Appreciate that.
So that might be a cheaper route, just to hope that the New Hampshire legislature passes bill, I forget the number, 1192 or something.
Yeah. Probably take both paths and hopefully one,
It's going to the
Opens
Senate,
itself.
so whatever the Senate, talk to your state senator and
give
the
him,
thought.
give him a call now.
But as a
That's the
regulation-
purpose of this.
As the regulations
conceptual-
stand now, no pun intended, it's a tough road to get a multifamily in there.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, what you were thinking.
Yeah, yeah. And then how about, speaking of fire, like fire suppression and things, is that more of a building code type of thing? Is there any additional regulations that are gonna come
Well, I'm
up?
curious you say
Fire
that,
tanks,
because
probably a cistern.
yeah, a fire suppression system, because being a 1 and 2 family, you can't require it.
Yeah,
But
multi-family.
3, it's another thought.
Well, he could request a cistern.
Yeah,
More
right,
likely
yeah.
way to go. Cistern within 1,000 feet is generally what the fire chief wants.
So the
Small one,
separate
10
well, is that a separate like well for the
The tank.
tank?
in the ground.
Okay.
Typically 10,000 gallons.
If you go up the road, there's one right here, 30,000
It's
gallons.
30,
yeah.
30 for, yes, I think it's,
Go as low as 10
yeah, it
for,
was
used to be able to do 10, right?
10, and then it, like,
Went up.
15 is when you start getting into the more multi-unit use side, and then 30 is when you start getting into larger dwelling
Subdivisions like
size-
this.
But
They've got
But the-
3 of them, I think.
The NFPA code on it, I believe, is the max is 15,000 it requires.
No, I think fire chief, the Young Road one, this is an issue brought up.
It is, and they were only required to do 15,000, and they built it out to 30,000, and that's based on, I believe it's an hour, 2 hour. It's a 2 hour window or 2 hour water window to fight the appropriate fire. If you wanted to wait 2 minutes, I'm sure I can go pull it up because I have a whole review
it's
on it
based
in
on-
my phone.
Getcha though.
Okay, does that help?
Yeah, or
It doesn't help, but it gives you information.
yeah. Yeah, it's a beautiful property, and it's just, hopefully we can share it with more people and provide more housing for people of Barrington. So hopefully it does work out.
I'm curious, House Factory, is that your business?
Uh,
It's labeled here.
Yeah, yep. So it's a nonprofit that focuses on affordable, sustainable, and innovative housing. So, like, for instance, we're working with tiny houses or modular houses, not on trailers, but smaller units to be able to provide housing, and hopefully these additional ADUs are going to open up a path for us to be able to put in these smaller units. They're manufactured, and then they get put in. So, yeah, just have the home office there right now. And then setbacks or anything, I don't think I have to worry about. Questions were there? I think that was really it. The fire, the road.
And you have 26 acres?
Yeah, it's 26 acres. We're working on a land swap with Rochester too. They want to have the pond area, so they're going to extend on the other side, and we're looking at 37 acres. And then we're hoping to put that in conservation.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you say the pond area, you're referring to
The beaver pond in the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a throughway there.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So hopefully that'll go through. Yeah. Hopefully put in conservation. We want housing, but we don't want to do too much house.
Because you are surrounded by their land.
Yeah, hopefully more of it will go into conservation too. And it's a water, not water easement, but you're in between two bodies of water. The water flows in between, watershed. It's a watershed, so it's for drinking water for Rochester and surrounding areas. So it's good that it's hopefully going to be protected. Yeah, I can't. Parking, I think that I saw all the regulations for the parking. I think we'll have plenty. And I guess the other question was the garage and some of the space within the house we'd want to turn back into a garage. It was kennels before. It used to be a dog kennel.
Yep.
So we're looking at turning the kind of kennel area into a garage. And I was wondering what the requirements were for that. Is there
That would just
bands and such too, or?
just be part of your building. That would be something that goes before the zoning officer.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement.
Code enforcement,
Building
yeah.
inspector.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's all I got then. Gives me some things to work on.
Good luck. Good luck, yeah.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Thanks.
All right, item number 6, we're on Aled to give an update on the Class 6 private road policy.
Make a motion.
Which we have right here.
Take 5 minutes. You already know it all.
You promised me 5 minutes.
It was
7:12, Ron, so we're
Yeah.
giving you.
Hey, from the clock. There was, I'm going to include 10 questions in my time.
Okay.
There was a subcommittee put together to work on the select board Class 6 and private road policy. A bunch of members, including Bob and myself. This is the final draft. It's the policy. Just going through the general changes, there was, we changed it from volume to increase in living space in order to trigger category 3. I don't know if everyone remembers, but we had that, and it triggered category 3, which we just wanted to do a little bit of a dormer.
Change the stairs.
That's no longer the case, and we defined what living space is, basically anything over 7 feet. We added prior work credit up to 6 months, so if you do the work 6 months before you put your application in, you can get credit for that. Get credit for that. We added language to more directly involve the road associations. That is an option of the applicant, but we've strengthened that, and we've given the applicant and the road association the ability to finish the work after the CO was issued. So, before the CO was the hammer, but given the seasons and the fact that, president of my road association, not always that efficient because years and stuff like that. Giving them a little more time, I think, gives them more likely to. The applicant has to choose the road association. The road association has to agree to accept the responsibility. 2 officers have to sign off. So I think if road associations would be less likely to sign up if they have a higher deadline for the CO, this gives them a little more time. There's got to be a security arrangement for the town in order to do that. The town attorney blessed that.
Seems like a good thing.
And of things that we specifically call out some things that they can do that really I think most people would think of. So we put in that that the 10% can be used toward acquiring rights of way or easements. So we've specifically put that in as something that can be done. I think before people looking pretty much at road improvements directly, and this sometimes the block is they don't have the right of way. They can't do improvements. Road narrows, and it's right of way's not there. So this gives them the ability to do that, and I think that's where I think the road associations are more valuable. The last 2 people who moved on my road have come up from Massachusetts. So if some new person from Massachusetts moved up and asked me for easement
Isn't that where all you guys came from?
probably less likely to say yes. But if the association comes to me and asks a question, probably more likely. I'm more likely to say yes than I would. So that language was added. We added language that the improvements have to be 50 feet beyond the driveway, not any further. Some language about the driveway itself's gotta be flared. And we also, John was mentioning some language before, we added a checklist, and we had a checklist, which was good. Also, we added, there's a so-called, we've been calling it the red list, a list of, this is the last page right here. This is a list of the roads that are, the fire chief says, you know, no building permit should be issued. You know, we have kind of green, yellow, red.
Okay.
Green is you meet the requirements of select board requirements, which is 2 and 2. Yellow is you don't, 10%. Red is, you know, no building permits issued.
Right, and Dry Hill is on here.
And Dry Hill is on there.
Yeah.
So this is the red list.
It's not
It's
approved
the
yet.
red list,
And the red list
and Dry
has-
Hill is on it.
And the red list has 15 class 6 roads and only private roads, which are Carr Drive and Old French Mill.
Well, this is gonna be modified. We had a vote,
There are 100 private roads, and I gotta believe there's more than 2 that shape.
well, this has got a whole bunch of them on here.
Is this,
Well, this is.
is this the
most of
whole
these are
list?
class 6.
Is this all
No,
like
this is just
green,
one
yellow,
page,
and
right?
red?
Yeah.
That's just the red list.
That's the
This
red
is the red
list, so,
list.
yeah, there's only 2 privates, and 15 class 6 roads.
Well, in fact, there's some class 5s on here, which we'll take out. So the list will be modified.
Okay.
The list, this is gonna
I'm
be
just
modified.
surprised around more private roads, like.
Well, this is the ones that no building permits issued.
Right. That's what I mean, I've seen some of these roads. Pretty bad.
Just so you know, the adjustments we're gonna make to this list, this is the fire chief's list. And he didn't want to take off class 5s. His point of view, which has got some merit, is, you know, my equipment doesn't know whether I'm going on a class 5 or class 6. If I can't get by the road, I can't get by the road. So he would put class 5s on the red list as well. That's not allowed by
Yeah.
state law. So we'll take those off. Chief wanted to lead them on, and I was gonna leave it on for the selectmen and take them off down the road, just so he heard, that message was heard at the next level. But the committee voted to take it out, so we're gonna modify that and take it out now.
Yeah. So this just leaves these class 15,
Just the
class
class
6.
6. And the other thing it says, like, for example, the first one, it says bring up the class 5 standards. There is no class 5 standard.
Right.
It's
You
basically.
know, John mentioned to me that he just meant 20.
Well, it's the select board minimum road specifications is
Yeah.
really what it is.
16.2.
16.2 and 2 is the
Right.
select board policy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just change that language to that.
Okay. Good.
So,
That's good work, Jim.
2 questions that I
Bob?
had around it is, under the category 3, and I think it's relevant based on the conversation we just had, under item 4, it says change the use of property, for example, from single family to multifamily, but on a class 6 or private road, can't do a multifamily?
No.
Based on what, right, but you have that in there cited as an example, right?
Well, this is the no building permit list.
No, but he's
No,
coming
no.
back here.
Oh,
I'm talking about in
Because
your
this is
category
now-
3
On page 5.
on page
Five.
2 of
Oh.
7.
For example, a single family into multifamily.
Right.
Well, you can't do a multifamily on a class 5 or private road.
Yeah,
I mean, class
that's previous language. We didn't put that in.
That needs to come out.
We can take it
The
out.
date on here is 2022, but
Well, that's modified from.
That's when the select board adopted it.
oh, I got you.
So this is a draft that has not been adopted.
I
So
gotcha.
the other piece that I wanted to ask is
Head down.
on the red list item, is somebody gonna go around, is there a game plan for them to go around and reassess or reclassify those properties to reduce the value of them now that those lots are gonna be deemed non-buildable under its current standard?
This was not within our purview.
But that is an
It's
excellent
gotta be a
question.
relevant
Yeah,
question.
absolutely, I agree.
I just talked to the assessor on my property, and it was a very unsatisfying experience, so I will punt it to them and see how they answer the question. But, you know, my assessment, my
Good
property
point.
value, and it was the same, there's recent sale property on Swains Lake that's bigger than mine, has more frontage than mine, it's on a paved road, town-maintained paved road. His value is the same as my value for the property.
Right.
So does that make sense? I would say no, but That's what it is.
I got a whole bone of contention around all of that and the way they do their assessing, and I think it's a shell game of how it happens, but that's not a planning board issue. That's a different.
I think they just
Different
go to
item.
Zillow and see what the Zillow's algorithm shows the property as.
And I mean, I'll use the example where they will take, just because you have frontage, they will say, they will basically equate everybody's value out to, on the water at 300,000 and like, and then from there, they will just, that becomes your standard starting point, and then it goes up from
My
there.
neighbors on Edgewater, 3 of them now are over $1 million.
Yeah,
I mean, I gave them, as we recommended, I gave them all kinds of comps and stuff.
Yeah.
Never discussed the comps. They won't tell me their comps.
you have to appeal it.
I'm going to appeal to the state.
Yeah, you have to, and it'll take a couple years, but then you will ultimately get.
They have a magic
credited
formula
back.
which they won't disclose what it is.
Right.
So are they gonna reappraise these properties? I have no freaking idea what they're gonna do because I don't understand them at all. Anyway, that's my presentation. 5 minutes. We'll accept questions.
Best of luck.
Any questions for Ron?
So the process, so this isn't ready to go to select board yet.
It is except for the red list. We're gonna modify the red list and then it'll be ready. So the first two documents are approved by the committee. The red list is gonna be modified, as I said, class 5.
722.
That one edit on
talking.
page 2.
Well, a lot of these have class 5 standards. We're gonna change all those. And then we're gonna take the class 5 roads out off the list.
Are you
Those are
gonna,
the only changes we're gonna make.
you're gonna leave the multifamily dwelling unit on there, even though we
I'm
just
gonna
had
take
that
that
whole kerfuffle on that.
He said?
Thank you very much,
Yeah, he's gonna take it out.
you team guys, for doing it. I think a lot of
Yeah,
these changes
thank
are
you.
good. Yeah.
Anyway, I think the original policy is good. I think this improves it, incrementally, but
Before I take a motion to adjourn, anybody have new business they want to quickly bring up within the next 5 minutes? Hearing none, motion to adjourn,
Second.
roll call.
Yeah, bye.
Just your.
Yep.
no, no.
Thank you very much.
You made it, Vanessa.
For the record,